Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and before I get into today's rumors around Jamie Collins, Donta Hightower, and ESPN and PFF just straight up disrespecting the silver and black, I got an awesome deal from our proud sponsor, Panda Sups. If you want to get your hands on these supplements over here, and I recommend you do because it's beach season, if you go to chatsports.com/Mitch, use code Mitch at checkout. Hopefully y'all can remember how to spell it. You can save $70. Usually if you get all of these products, it's $168. No, use the code at that link down there below, which is going to be available for y'all in the comment section and in the description of today's video, and you're going to save $70. The first story coming up here on the Raiders Report is around free agent linebacker Dont'a Hightower. Bleacher Report released an article titled "One Trade or Free Agent Acquisition for all 32 NFL teams before the 2022 training camp." So what you're going to see here is I'm going to tell you what Bleacher Report had to say, and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents on whether or not I think it makes sense for the Raiders to go out and sign Hightower. He was linked to the Raiders. He's only played his entire career. He was drafted in the first round, 25 overall, all the way back in 2012. And he's only played with the New England Patriots. So this is what Bleacher Report had to say on the Raiders signing Hightower. Hightower, like Jamie Collins, is a player who could benefit from playing in a New England-style defense. And former Patriots assistant Patrick Graham is now heading Las Vegas' unit. Hightower, 32, would probably be best used as an early down run thumper or a situational blitzer at this point in his career. When you talk about Hightower's career, it's been a very productive one. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this guy has had essentially over, 48 tackles literally every single season he's played, at least 10 games, 64 tackles last season. He opted out in 2020 because of COVID, but he's not just a run stopper. He does have that ability to be able to come in and also get after the quarterback. So Raiders Report is built on the backs of the nation. It's built on y'all's passion. And if you're watching this video at the end of June, major shout out to y'all because I know you're a real one. So type Y for yes, type N for no. Should the Raiders sign Donta Hightower? My answer is yes. I do think that it makes some sense for Las Vegas. Now, let me make this very clear. I'm not going to be somebody that goes out and breaks the bank on Hightower. The Raiders, as it currently stands right now, have about $20.2 million in salary cap space, which kind of puts you in this area of like right around 6th or 5th, depending on if you look at over the cap or Spotrac. But I believe that it does make sense. He's a great leader who can play in a rotation. I don't want to have him out there playing over somebody like Denzel Behrman, but if you can throw him in that rotation, it makes sense. You can also have a good player coach because he knows the system. I think knowing the system is something that I talked about a lot last season with Gus Bradley, and you saw how certain players, like a Unique Ngakoue, like a Casey Hayward, hell, even like a Denzel Behrman, they were able to come in, be good players on and off the field, and that really helps a defensive unit. So in terms of when you have somebody like Hightower, the reason why I believe that he knows the system and could be a good fit is because I want you to look at some here with Patrick Graham. These are the seasons that Graham was on the defensive side of the football with New England. And the years that I really want you to look at are right here. He was the linebackers coach for New England from 2014 to 2015. Do I think Hightower can get back to that level of play? No, of course I don't. But I like somebody that knows the system. And when you talk about the best years of Donta Hightower, right here, 2014, 2015. In fact, his 2 highest graded PFF years. 2014, he graded that an 84.0, and 2015 an 80.9. That tells me he understood his assignments. Now, sure, he was an athletic specimen. He was a great player from top to bottom. But he also knew what he had to do, so you could bring him in. Believe me, I don't want to throw out the name Vontaze Burfict, but Vontaze Burfict knew the Paul Gunther system. So if you can have a player come in that understands the systems, despite them not being able to play at the level that they once could, there's still a lot of value there, y'all. So when you talk about Hightower and what he's done recently, because I hear you, It's back in 2014, back in 2015. If you put Hightower on the field, you can't have him in coverage situations. If you want to put him in early downs or sacking situations where you think he can pin his ears back or stop the run, if you put Perriman, Hightower, and then also Divine Diablo out of the field, I mean, that's three very good run-stopping linebackers. And yes, last season he played in some coverage, we'll say snaps overall, because that's what he had to do for New England. But last year, 634 snaps, 283 against the run, 109 against the pass, and if you're in the NFL, you're always going to be put in coverage situations. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm just simply saying, if you lower his overall snaps, put him in more run-heavy situations, put him in more pass rush situations, you're going to take a lot less pressure off him, and it's going to really, I think, help out your young defense. Now, if the Raiders make any moves the entire offseason, I promise you we'll keep you up to date to make sure that you never miss any Raiders news, to make sure you never miss any Raiders rumors. If you just want Raiders content, because let's face it, sometimes work days, man, they're pretty long. I listen to stuff as well. I know it might be hard to believe, but even when I'm at work, I like to listen to podcasts. I like to listen to things that take my mind off it. I promise, if you want to learn more about the Raiders, if you want to have a good time doing it, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Now, I know I already showed you this quote, but I want to show it to you again, and the reason is this. You see the name, the second name, it's Jamie Collins. So we're going to talk about Jamie Collins because he's also been linked to the Raiders from that exact same article from Bleacher Report. Now, he wasn't picked in the article, but he was mentioned for all the reasons that I just talked about with Donta Hightower. He's played in multiple Patriot systems, and when I use the word multiple, I'm literally telling y'all, this guy has played in multiple Patriot systems, whether it's been on the actual New England Patriots or you have to remember he played for Detroit that one year. Matt Patricia used to be somebody who was with, remember, the New England Patriots. It's all connected there. But also, when you talk about Jamie Collins being a good fit, I view Collins as a 3-4 linebacker. I view Donta Hightower as a 4-3 linebacker. If I have a defense, I want Hightower in the middle. If I got Jamie Collins, he has the ability, because he's just so long and lanky, like, I really, truly believe he's not going to put his hand in the dirt, but he's going to be able to go on the outside. And when you have somebody that knows your defense, that can play in a bunch of different sets for you, it really, really, truly can go a very, very long way from top to bottom. Trace, it's fine. We're going to keep it going. So when you look at some of the numbers here from top to bottom for Collins, he's had a very successful season. And when you talk about 2021, 30 tackles, 1 sack, 4 tackles for a loss. But he's had some seasons not too long ago, back in 2020, over 100 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss. And he is a phenomenal player from top to bottom. There's no doubt about that. And the numbers that you see on screen, I really, truly believe indicate that. So here's my question. If I asked you earlier about Donta Hightower, and if you've watched this show before, you know I'm going to ask you the same question here for Jamie Collins. S for sign, P for pass. Should the Raiders be interested in signing Jamie Collins? My answer, just like it was for Hightower, it's another yes. And I believe if you have the opportunity to get a player that knows your system, that can still play at a pretty high level, and he is a turnover-forcing machine, you try to make it happen. Like, you try to do it, and he also knows the Patrick Graham system. In terms of overall turnover numbers, again, Trace, it's fine. We're going to roll it here. It's NBA free agency time. We're talking about this guy forces turnovers. In 2015 with Patrick Graham, in 2014 with Patrick Graham, those are his 2 best seasons that he has ever had. Hell, he led the NFL with 5 forced fumbles. Even last season, he's had an interception. We're talking about a linebacker who essentially has had an interception for, 8 straight seasons? That's incredible, and it goes back to his versatility. And at 6'3", 255 pounds, Jamie Collins can still play football. And I'm not saying sign him and another guy that I'm going to break the bank for. No. If you're telling me I could bring Dont'a Hightower and put him in run situations, and then I could put Jamie Collins maybe in some more, passing situations, coverage situations. Then you're also going to sprinkle in Denzel Perriman. You're going to sprinkle in Divine Diablo, J.M. Brown. It gives you more options. And in Patrick Graham's systems, you put a lot more on the linebacking position. And if you want to talk about PFF grades, I mean, this is damn good, man. This is almost, it's not even almost, it's great. Colt Miller last year had an 85 overall grade on PFF. Jamie Collins, yes, in limited fashion, an 84.3 overall grade. I mean, you look at the numbers right there. They are all solid grades. And in terms of snaps, this is why I love Collins, because not many linebackers can play against the run and be good at it. Not many linebackers can get after the quarterback and be good at it. Not many linebackers can also drop back into coverage and be good at it. So in terms of his snaps, he was on the field for 300 times last year, 302 to be exact. He was on the field, and he's a reliable player, which is something that I'm telling you, you can't put a price on. Something that does have a price on it. Panda Subs, and we're hooking you up with this awesome deal. Remember, this link that you see below, chatsports.com/Mitch, is available for y'all in the comments and in the description of today's video. If you want to check out some other awesome products from Panda Subs, just go to pandasubs.com, use code Raiders. You'll save 35%. So it's not quite as a good deal as Mitch, where you can save 70% on this stack right here of BCAAs, some greens, and some pre-workout. You also get a shaker in there as well. It was made specifically for Raider Nation. So if you're trying to get into better shape, all I'd say is this. Try out the products because I use them every day, and I think you guys are going to like them a lot as well. So those were the free agency rumors. Coming up now here on the Raiders Report, I put this tweet out there on at Mitchell Renz 365, and it went a little bit viral, and I kind of knew it would because, again, there's nobody that's more passionate about football, their team, than Raider Nation. And ESPN and PFF, in my opinion, disrespected the Raiders by putting them in their power rankings at 21 overall. And we'll talk about the power rankings. We'll talk about how all this happened. But this is what I want. I want you to send ESPN and PFF a big old F you. Like the video right now because I'm going to get rowdy. I'm going to tell you why ESPN and PFF F this one up. So if you want to send them a big F you, and if I was on Rumble right now, you could actually see the birds, and I'm not talking about, well, you guys can put it together. Like the video right now. We're sending ESPN and PFF a big old F you. So this is how the rankings ended up happening. So yes, the article is from ESPN, but it was written by somebody from PFF who I have tagged in the tweet if you want to go yell at them. With the 2022 draft and free agency behind us, we're breaking down each team's roster using the PFF database. With an eye toward the projected starters, we looked at both the PFF grades from the 2021 season, a number included for every projected starter, and a more comprehensive assessment of each player's career using both PFF grades and statistics. Pro Football Focus grades of 90-plus categorized as elite. 80 to 89.9 are good/high quality. 70 to 79 check in as average. 69 or lower is considered below average. For rookies and players not active or barely active, in 2021 we use college grades or NFL grades from earlier seasons. NFL grades from 2020 or earlier are marked with an asterisk. College grades from 2021 are marked with 2 asterisks. Blah, 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 blah. You know what, though? I went through and I looked at the AFC West rankings, and the Raiders were 21, Broncos 14, Chiefs 9, Chargers 3. I think one of the biggest issues that PFF does is if you actually look at the article, one, Derek Carr doesn't even have a grade, so I'm curious if they even gave him a grade. On top of that, sometimes Pro Football Focus tries to be too smart, and they don't trust their eyes, which I have a great example coming up here in just a second. But this is what the reason, or I guess I should say, this is why the Raiders came in at number 21. The Davante Adams edition gives the Raiders passing attack the receiver that was really missing. Derek Carr ranked first in PFF passing grade and throws between the numbers in 2021 as compared to 22nd on throws outside the numbers. But now he has one of the truly elite route runners in the league who can win consistently on the outside at his disposal. Add in Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller, and Las Vegas' passing game has the potential to be explosive. One of the things that I was saying that PFF sometimes does that's just dumb, when you look at their grades and the way that these rankings are based on, it's based on Darren Waller being the 17th best rated tight end in the league because that's where he rated last season. Did he battle injuries? Yes. But I mean, come on, y'all. Does anybody out there think Darren Waller is the 17th best tight end in the league? If anybody ranks him outside of the top 5, I'm going to laugh in your face. So when you see grades like this, it's why I tell sometimes don't take PFF grades all too seriously. And grades I give y'all, when I talk about PFF, those grades that I believe in, but I'm never going to put a PFF grade of Darren Waller on here. Why? It's a joke. Now, in terms of some of the weaknesses and why the Raiders are ranked so low, the counter-argument to the explosive passing game argument above is that the Raiders didn't do much to improve Carr's pass protection this offseason. The right side of the Las Vegas' offensive line allowed more pressures than any other right guard and tackle duo in the NFL in 2021 with 124, and there's a chance the Raiders run things back with Alex Leatherwood and Brandon Parker in those spots this season, which, if you actually read the article, when that quote came up, they predicted Parham and Leatherwood. So, again, they are contradicting themselves. The Raiders secondary stands out, and this is in terms of the Raiders' X factor and how they can improve. The Raiders secondary stands out as one of the weaker positional groups of this roster, but there's also are several younger players who could outperform expectations. Fourth-year cornerback Trayvon Mullen falls under that category. Mullen missed the majority of last season with a right foot injury, but he had a 73.9 PFF coverage grade in the first 3 games of the season after ranking 7th among quarterback corners with 11 pass breakups in 2020. There's at least some reason for optimism heading into the season. And I agree, there is some sense for optimism. So here's my question to all y'all. I want a one-word reaction. If you don't follow me on Twitter, it's why you should. If you don't follow me on IG, again, I posted this over there. But when you heard that I just said the Raiders are ranked 21st in the NFL, what's your one-word reaction? My one-word reaction is underdogs. And my other one word would be I'm thankful. I am thankful that the NFL, that ESPN, PFF, everybody sleeps on the Raiders. I'm good with it. You can put us at 32 for all I care. Shit, put us at 33, say Alabama's above. I don't give a crap because I know when it comes down to it, this is a good Raiders team, and they're going to prove a lot of people wrong. Now, I know this is the Raiders Report. I know I talk about the NFL, but, dude, I work for a company called Chat Sports. We kill the sports game. We're going to be live for NBA free agency, so I kind of had to hurry up. And shit, the guys are already live in the back right now, so I got to go help out. But the reason why we went live a little bit earlier is because Kevin Durant has requested a trade, and this one is from Shams Charania. I'll get it right. And he requested a trade. Then Adrian Wojbaum. Brooklyn Nets GM Sean Marks is working with Kevin Durant and his business manager Rip Kleiman on finding a trade for the franchise star. On top of that, Woj also threw in that the Nets prepare to move on from one of the most valuable trade assets ever on the market. The entire roster will be available to discuss in deals, sources tell ESPN. Teams have been calling on Durant, and the Nets will certainly look for a historic return on players and draft picks. Let me just say this. If you haven't already subscribed to Chat Sports, make sure you do so, y'all. We got over 300,000 subscribers over there. I think like 315 at this point. So that's the link below. Hit that sub button. And if you made it this far in the video, I want you to look into your crystal balls and tell me where you think Kevin Durant's going to play. My prediction, the Phoenix Suns.